Joining us now is the Director of Investigations and Research for Judicial Watch, Chris Farrell. Chris, welcome back to Victory News.
Thank you, Greg.
The White House is blaming Republicans for the border crisis. Representative Jayapal says the GOP needs to stop talking about the open southern border. And Karine Jean-Pierre said this today.
So look, we have worked very hard. The president have worked very hard to implement a strategy when it comes to the border that is humane, safe, and has orderly enforcement. That is something that we have tried to do and worked really hard to do these last 2 years.
Texas has dealt with several million illegal immigrants, and now Eagle Pass sector is being overrun. The town has declared a state of emergency. Chris, Judicial Watch has a new corruption chronicle that tackles record fentanyl and terrorists crossing our border. What have you discovered?
Well, going back 8 years ago, Judicial Watch reported on terrorists exploiting the incredibly porous southern border. And surprise, surprise, this flood of humanity puts a lie to the White House position that it's safe, orderly, and humane. It is none of those things. The people crossing are at grave risk because not one single person nor one grain of fentanyl crosses that border without the consent and without payment to the drug cartels. And so the Biden administration is literally cooperating with and subsidizing Mexican drug cartels because they control our entire southern border. And this is a situation that's gone from bad to absolute crisis proportions.
Yeah, I agree with you. It sounds treasonous to me, to add my own words. Representative Jeff Drew asked Attorney General Merrick Garland why the FBI under his DOJ is spying on Catholics, labeling them as violent extremists. Here was the answer, and it wasn't good.
Yes, the idea that someone with my family background would discriminate against any religion is so outrageous.
It was your FBI that was sending, and we have the memos, we have the emails, we're sending undercover agents into Catholic churches.
Jeff Drew finally got the AG to say on record traditional Catholics are not extremists. But Chris, what was the FBI doing spying on any branch of the Christian faith?
The question alone, it tells you where Garland and the Biden DOJ is coming from. Look, just be glad that Garland never made it to the Supreme Court. You see through his testimony yesterday the corruption, the deceit, the double talk and lying. What this really goes to is a mentality at the Department of Justice and the FBI that is decidedly anti-Christian. They have targeted and gone after Christians for a variety of reasons. They'll use anything they possibly can. They've targeted the Catholic Church in undercover operations. They just jailed 2 septuagenarian women, grandmothers, one I think is a widow, for protesting in front of an abortion clinic. They conduct raids on homes with small children of people that are part of a pro-life group. This is extraordinarily dangerous. And really what it is, let's be clear, the Marxists that are in the Biden administration hate Christians. Let's just be very blunt about it.
Okay, I want to talk to you about your interview with Alan Dershowitz recently on your On Watch show. You asked him about Judge Tanya Chutkan, who's presiding over the 2020 election case against Donald Trump. Here's part of his response.
She comes from a law firm that has a long history of always siding with Democrats, and it's a law firm that has been much criticized over the years.
Now, let's frame this for the audience. This is a former president running for office against the current president, while Jack Smith brings questionable legal charges against Trump during an election cycle. Is there any way former President Trump will get the fairness and objectiveness this trial will require?
Not from a DC jury, and not from a judge who is already on the record making a variety of disqualifying statements. The judicial canons of conduct say that even a presumption of any kind of irregularity or any kind of, predisposition on a case is disqualifying. She is documented up to her eyeballs with conflicts in this case.
It's going to be very interesting to watch. Certainly keep us on our knees praying. Chris Farrell, Judicial Watch, thank you, sir, for being with us today.
Thank you, Greg.